Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 1. It is a super cool game. I'm really excited about it because it is between two amazing players, both of whom I'm a massive fan of. So spawning down in the bottom right position, it is the blue Protoss player, it's Grubby. And his opponent down in the lower left from CM Storm, it is the red Terran player, Polt. So, a good little bit of TVP. Good action going to be coming up. I'm excited. Very excited. Always excited. It may have something to do with the large quantities of sugar that I have taken in, the large quantities of caffeine that I have digested, and yeah, the fact that I'm casting StarCraft, and that usually makes me pretty excitable anyway, especially when these two cool players like this. But anyway, PvT. What can we say about that? Well, for a start, Terran players, Reaper expands on... are just generally good against Protoss. This map's quite nice. There's a good bit of dead space here, good bit of dead space, cliff space rather, cliff space. Reapers can be hop up, harass, be annoying, and of course can't really deal with them. But keeping an eye out for the moment, see if any refineries get coming down. It looks like Polt may actually be going for a CC first. No, he's not. There we go. Barracks is coming down. It's all good. Never mind. Forget what I was saying. So just keeping an eye out for any gases and things like that. Grubby, gateway expanding. Very normal. There's the gas just as expected from Polt. Everything looking good. Grubby gonna come out here. Gonna have a little scat around. Be like, yo, what up? I'm Grubby. Just coming for a little probe adventure. Oh yeah. Here we go. Little probe. Little probe. Remember, probes don't kill people. They just tase them. Repeatedly. That's why they do those little electric shocks. They're not actually trying to hurt you. They're just trying to subdue you and make sure that you cooperate with the greater Protoss thought plans. So, refinery, barracks, command center, gonna be made next. Probably a Reaper chucked out first, and also the orbital command. But then it'll be a command center before anyone gets too pedantic for me in the comments section. And yeah, all in all, this is a pretty nice opening. Of course, Grubby sees, he goes, okay, you got a gas and a barracks. Guess you're going Reapers. So just start standing cybernetics score. There's very little benefit, in my opinion, with getting a Zealot down after you've scouted this, because the Zealot does absolutely, well, pretty much nothing against that Reaper. The Reaper can kite it all day, but lots of Protoss players do still opt to get it. That's always a little bit interesting. I think that in some ways you'd be better off saving that extra minerals just for a moment or two, because really the only benefit you get from it is that things like an engineering bay block that we're seeing here can get taken out a bit more efficiently. Just with the Zealots. So I guess that's the benefit of it, but in terms of actually dealing with the Reaper, there really isn't anything. Now, Grubby did have a probe there, and the Reaper is going to discover the probe and kill the probe. Zealot going to come over, Stalker coming out. Stalker before the mothership core gets started. Minor thing. Just, you know, little things to keep a good check on. The Reaper going to be a little bit later over to the party. That means the Stalker will be pretty much out by the time the Reaper hits. It's probably not going to be able to rack up very many kills, if any at all. Maybe getting this probe, we'll wait and see. But for the moment, the engineering bay block has been frustrating, meaning that Polt's getting like a good chunk ahead in terms of his natural base timing. It's not the greatest amount ever, but probably going to end up being at about 40 seconds, especially if this probe goes down, which it will. Good work with the Reaper there by Polt. Is going to just retreat back. Note that he only got out the single Reaper. He then switched straight back into Marine production, just to be a little bit more safe, so he could expand out. This one Reaper, though, all on his lonesome, having a bit of fun. Got a kill on a probe. As a Reaper's day goes, that is generally considered a good one. The Stalker is moving down. There is the mothership core out though, so all Polt's doing, or going to be able to do with this, is get some scouting information. He's not really going to probably be able to get any more probe kills. We'll see if he can rack up one, but already this Reaper getting pretty low. The Zealot coming to try and trap it off there. May get a probe here. That'd be very nice if Polt could get another probe, basically for nothing. He'd be happy about that. Does get it. Oh, the Reaper even gets away with 1 health. Good control. That goes above good control. That goes to great control. Polt behind this, adding on more barracks. He went for a reactor. Now only getting a tech lab, so a little bit later on certain upgrades and things like that. His teching a little bit delayed. He doesn't have a factory started yet, obviously, but he does have his natural base up. It's morphing into an orbital command, and Grubby's is still a good chunk away from completion. A good like 25-30 seconds behind, and that may not seem like the biggest amount, but if we take a look at this income difference, it's going to work out being about 100 more minerals that Polt is going to have, just surely by the fact that he's mining there. It would equate to being slightly more than that as well in the long term, because obviously there's the second mule slightly quicker and the double probe production slightly faster. But it's small gains, but small gains can make a big difference. Call it about a minute that he's been mining a bit more. It's probably works out being about 200 minerals or so. And Grubby now should start catching up. Where are his chrono boosts being spent? He's got 59 banked up there, 14 there, and he's going to be chrono boosting out the Observer. Okay, he's also getting +1 armor down. That's generally pretty strong if you're going for a Zealot heavy composition and want to deal with an infantry Terran, because the Marines DPS gets reduced quite dramatically by getting that armor upgrade. Stim, meanwhile, is a quarter of its way down. We do see that the factory only now just getting started, and the engineering bay also on its way. So this should be a +1 timing coming down now from Polt. Meanwhile, Grubby, he's going to have a very big upgrade lead. Not only has he started his upgrades sooner, but then you've also got to factor in the fact that he's going to be able to chrono boost his upgrades and get those down even quicker still. So unless of course we saw double engineering base, which is very unlikely since only the one's being made at the moment, and it'd be hard to afford it with only the 2 gases for the time being, things just going to be trickling along quite nice and steadily. Now the robotics bay does get scouted by that Reaper, so does the Forge. These are some really important scouting information and scouting grabs for Polt here. Grubby needs to be a little bit careful actually, because giving away all that information, that's really Grubby's entire game plan in one fell swoop, basically saying, I know what you're doing now. Basically seeing all of the things. All of your money is tied up, all of your resources, gas specifically. If you're getting upgrades and a quick robotics bay, that means you can't have many gateways. It's just that simple. You must only be on a single gate at this time, and therefore we do just see that Grubby is basically now worked out. In terms of scouting of what he's seen from Polt, I don't think he's seen that much. If I grab his vision quickly, no, he hasn't seen the engineering bay. Has seen everything else, but to be honest, seeing a couple of barracks and a starport from a Terran player at like 9 minutes, that's not going to blow your mind. That's pretty normal. It's the engineering bay which hasn't been seen that could be a little bit frustrating and could do with getting scouted. Now, bear in mind that we've only got Stim, Combat Shield, or Concussive Shells. Neither have been started. Would like to see Combat Shield come down if there is going to be some kind of timing off this +1. But yeah, for the moment, the medevacs were seen. The medevacs were seen. That is so big, because now, of course, we can get a response. Unfortunately, there are only 3 stalkers down. They're sitting in the main base, though. Where are the medevacs going? Are they going to come and try and drop into the natural base? They could do. They could try up for some trickery. SCV being pulled here by Polt, so he's going to take a third. The Observer, of course, does see it too. Important scout. These units have been dropped out, so not actually going to be dropping up into the main. Quite a few units pulled here. That Colossus is quite exposed. The Observer gets taken out. The Colossus, though, being exposed is a little bit frustrating. One Marine out the front, leading the charge, going, okay, what have you got? Well, the Zealot is going to get taken out. Cancel force at the Nexus, and that means that, pretty simply actually, this is going to be Polt looking fairly happy with how things are going at the moment. He's getting ahead economically. He's only down 2 workers, but his third's coming out quicker, and bear in mind the fact that he's also got the mules. So all in all, the income sitting in a good kind of 200 minerals more a minute. The gas is equal, but it's that minerals that Polt can really spend efficiently. You can see already he's banking up a little bit of gas. Hasn't started up his +1 infantry armor as of yet, nor has he started up an armory, so that means that he's got no option to get +2. Combat Shield though is about to kick in. We do as well have now a double drop coming down in the main. There's a couple of units up here, but against this large chunk of infantry, it's going to have a bit of a problem. Oh, the Colossi! The Colossi are exposed. Polt going to chase them down. 1 Colossus will fall, and getting 1 Colossus in exchange for what was either 1 Marauder and 2 Marines or 3 Marines is an amazing, amazing, amazing trade. Ridiculously good trade getting Colossus there. Grubby a little bit out of position with those and pays the price forward. Now, bear in mind, this hasn't morphed into an orbital command yet. It should do, there we go, so that's all going. There was the off chance that it could have become a planetary, but it would be very unlikely getting a planetary at a 3rd. Generally, you see a planetary base as a 4th, and orbital commands at the first 3, just because you've got units there, you can defend in this sort of vicinity. And of course, if you're sitting here, you've got defense of any movements into your natural or in towards your 3rd, so that's all good for you. But all we've got, Polt moving forward once again. He's got the double drop coming in towards the main, and Grubby does see it now. Is going to try and push that back. Triple drop was there, but the Stalkers are enough to basically scare it all away back to the land of the safe Terran Dominion. And yeah, more barracks just being added on. Medevac production now getting ramped up. Currently only 3 medevacs, 7 Vikings going up against 2 Colossi. There is a 3rd Colossus on its way, as well as the Templar Archives through Grubby. This factory about to go down, and this is actually going to be quite problematic if it does fall to Polt, because Polt, he's done it. Okay, the big thing was Polt hadn't started an armory, so losing the factory would have been really a big problem for him, because he couldn't have started the armor, he could have started +2, he would have had to remade that and then remade the armor, he would have got delayed in upgrades. But he managed to start the armory, so now his only problem is the fact, well, there isn't really one. He's got the 2 starports and he's got the armory, so that's everything that he really needs that factory for. It's all looking good. Now, Grubby, he's still just sitting quite cautiously. He's going, okay, well, my army supply is definitely going to be down. It's down by quite a chunk, too. It's down by 40 army supply. That's huge. A couple of Stalkers trying to get a kill on a Viking, nearly pick off one, but it manages to stay alive. Photon Overcharge is triggered, and this is a good little attack arc now from the Terran player. The Vikings in a good spot and not allowing the Stalkers underneath. One Colossus falls, the Nexus goes down, and this is where Polt should be able to push forward in a very nice fashion. Takes out 2 of those Colossi. The 3rd Colossus is about to fall to the infantry, cleaning up the Stalkers, and to be honest, things looking dire right now for Grubby. GG, well played is called, and we see Polt win the game. Congratulations there to Polt, very nice play. And of course, if you enjoyed that, make sure that you like the video, that you leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up every single day of the week, so check in tomorrow and you can get some more StarCraft. I'm Madals, thanks for watching, and bye for now.